If you're looking for the news of who Ohio State was going to name as its next starting quarterback, well, this is not the video for you because we might have to wait another week before that. Coming off of Ohio State's first scrimmage, I'm Steven, that's Stefan, and that's Andrew. Ryan said some good things and some bad things, I think, about both quarterbacks in terms of what he saw over the weekend. So based on how he talked on Monday, Stefan, what is Ryan Day looking for? What is he still waiting for? And why are we 20 days out from Ohio State playing what is officially the number 1 versus number 3 matchup? Number 1 team Texas, number 3 Ohio State. What is he looking for? What is he waiting on to name his starting quarterback?
Almost feels like he's waiting for a combination of the two quarterbacks, right? Because he spent so much time talking about all the ways that Julian Sain has progressed, and at this point, kind of goes without saying the arm talent, kind of the natural abilities or the physical abilities that Julian Sain has, like that goes without saying. But he is developing a sense of command of the huddle, anticipation instead of reaction, like when he's playing, timing, things of that nature. So Julian Sain is making strides in a way that I think Ohio State wants to see him make strides. But then there's what Lincoln Kindles is doing. And Ryan Day ended his press conference by indirectly talking about keyholes in the sense of he was an Iron Buckeye. He's done everything off the field that you want. He's a leader. He's a guy that in the weight room is doing everything Ohio State expects. It's like if you could take both these guys and just put them into one, I think Ohio State would have its ideal starting quarterback going into the Texas game. But you don't have that. So it's how do you get a little bit of this into him? How do you get a little bit of that into him? Like that's what they're trying to see. I still probably think that Julian Sain's the favorite to be the starter. That's been the case throughout the offseason. But Lincoln Kindles, as we've said time and time again, is doing everything that he needs to off the field and on the field to make this more interesting. And the more it lingers, the more it carries on, the more we're going to be kind of raising our antennas, being like, why does this keep going on? Why hasn't Julian Sain won the starting job yet? It's because Lincoln Kindles is trying to make it a competition but with what he's doing and being an Iron Buckeye and stuff like that. But Texas is less than 3 weeks away, and Ohio State needs to make a decision soon. And they need Julian Sain to take that next step to do that thing that Ryan Day is looking for, because I still think that's who they would like to be the starting quarterback.
This is not what we prefer, Andrew. This is what we think Ryan prefers, given the way he talked on Monday. What is more important here? Because there's only been one quarterback who's ever been an Iron Buckeye, and that was Lincoln Kindles. But the arm talent that is Julian Sain is what it is. What is more important in this conversation for 2025 Ohio State starting quarterback? The leadership, the intangibles, he said, if you want to be great at Ohio State, grab on and make all that stuff, the intangibles, or the arm talent, and maybe what that ceiling might be. What seems to be more important than Ryan Day right now?
Honestly, I think it's the arm talent. And maybe I'm wrong, but the way that he talked about the Texas game, like somebody asked him a question about, are you sleeping better now that you've been here a while? And he's like, well, we opened with Texas, so.
He's also a coach. He never sleeps.
Right. But he's brought up that Texas game as we got to be ready for Texas, and this is a way different type of conversation a couple of times. And I think he would almost at this point rather be like, you know what, we're going to go with the talent. And if we have to fall back on the guy who we know has the intangibles, the guy who we know has the leadership, the guy who we know, the Iron Buckeye, I think you would almost rather just say, we are going to go with our highest ceiling play against now the number 1 team in the country officially. And then if we have to make a change, we can fall back on that. Because if you put Keenholz out there and we put him out there because the intangibles, and we put him out there because, he's an Iron Buckeye and he earned it in the weight room and he earned it in the offseason and blah, blah, blah. And he's not making every throw and you lose that game, then it's a different conversation. So I think it's right now you're relying on the arm talent because of who you start with and because of how this season begins.
I'm trying to figure out which one is easy to cultivate. Becoming a leader or developing arm talent in a world where it does seem like for both of those guys, one of the sides seems a little bit more natural. Lincoln seems a little bit more capable of dominating in the weight room. I mean, he's like a 4-sport athlete. It seems like he's made his way around and cultivated relationships with a lot of guys. And that's not saying Julian Sain hasn't, but even he's admitted that getting out of his shell is maybe his toughest part. While with Julian Sain, I can make every throw you want me to make, and I can make it very quickly. While with Lincoln Kindles, there's been development over 3 years with that arm talent. Do I think it's easier to get a high-end athlete comfortable talking and being a leader? Probably because he's going to have to do it with us every Tuesday if he wins this job, versus I do think there's probably a ceiling with what your talent level is. Plus, they're not the same type of quarterback. One is more of a dual threat, while one is more of a pocket quarterback, which is why this is so hard, which is why Ryan Day used Dwayne Haskins and Joe Burrow as the comparison for how these guys are. They were not the same type of quarterback at Ohio State. And back then, he picked the guy who had the arm talent. Do we see history repeat itself, or does he flip that this time and go with the guy who's maybe more of an athlete, maybe more comfortable with the leadership, the intangible part of things? Because that guy did go south and win a national championship and is one of the best quarterbacks in college football right now. But what we did learn from 2018 is there's no bad choice, but there is a best choice for what this roster is going to be. 614-350-3315. It's a 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that. We're less than 3 weeks away from Ohio State facing Texas on August 30th inside of Ohio Stadium, and we're still waiting on Ryan Day to name his starting quarterback. I'm Steven, that's Stefan, that's Andrew, and go listen to Buckeye Talk wherever you find podcasts.